Hi everybody and welcome back. My name is Tasha. This is my studio at Tasha's Own Ceramics. So thanks for tuning in again today. The last video I did some throwing and showed you a little bit how I set up my wheel to get ready to throw, and I was making some jugs. And now my jugs have firmed up a little bit. I've wired them off their tile and I'm going to show you how to turn them, attach the spout, and then I'll do a little bit on decoration as well. So I'm just going to turn them on the wheel with a little bit of water. That'll help them stick. This is how I do all of my pieces, so they don't really need that much shaking off them. I'm trying to throw them really straight, and when I was throwing them I used my blue kidney, so that allowed me to straighten up the edge as much as possible. So I'm just going to turn the bottom to give the base a little compression, and that way it shouldn't crack, and just to neaten it up a little bit as well. Of my spouts from the last video, and they're a little bit firmer now, so they should be okay to work with. I put my spouts on, I don't pull them from this bit. I'm going to attach them, and I attach them on at an angle, so these need cut, and then I'll have to cut the hole out from the jug as well. I'm going to cut them at an angle, sort of a centimetre in from the edge of the spout, and I'm going to cut from the middle, just straight angle down to the corner. Bye. And this is the bit that we're left off with. This is the bit we want. The inside is a little bit thick, so I'm just going to cut out a little from the inside, and then make sure that there's nice round edge on it. I don't want any sharp little bumps. And then once I'm happy with that, I'm going to dip it in some water, just the edge, and pick where I'm going to pop it on. So I'll put it on here. I'm just going to set the edge on. So I want it to come a little bit above the rim because I'm going to trim that all back. So just set it on and take it off, and there's a little watermark being left. So that's where I'm going to start to score. So I'm just scoring on the water. And I'll give this wee guy a little score as well. That just helps it mesh together a bit better. Okay, so a little bit more water. I'm going to rub it in. Right, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave it to firm up a little bit now. So the spout's on, still fairly round, still in good shape. And I'll go on to the next one and leave this guy just to firm up a little bit, and then I'll come back to him and chop it off. Is all of our jugs with their spout attached, and now I'm going to chop them up and make it look a little bit more like my sort of jug. So this is what they look like at the minute. Thrown piece, just popped onto the side. I'm going to cut it down the middle and then open it up, and we're going to chop off the sides here. So I want to make sure that the edge is really well joined onto this edge. So I'm not going to chop too much to begin with, just a little bit, and then I'll keep chopping away at it because I want the top to actually be fairly level. I don't want this huge swoop up. I'm going to keep chopping that back a little bit. And then I'm going to go into the center and cut this wee wall out, and then that way your juice, your milk, whatever will come through. Okay, so I've cut the middle out now and there will be a nice flow. This is still too big, so I will make that a little bit smaller, but I'm going to clean up that inside first and make sure it's nice and neat. And that will do for that one. So I'm going to give it a bit of a rough wipe all over, and we can decorate this one. Okay, and now that this has been cut quite flat, I can put it back upside down, and I can put this little bit of colour underneath it. Give this a little white first. And that'll do. Now I've got that done, I can do the blue decoration on the side. So just to be really careful that I don't touch the bottom. And I've got everything already ready. So next up, I'll be using this little, it's not a great brush, but it's got a nice texture in it, which is why I'm picking to use it. And I'm going to put a couple of lines on it, so I'll do a bigger one. And then a smaller one. And then on the other side, I'll do the smallest one. So. I'm just going to use a sponge and sponge on. This is where it's sort of a sea. Like a pond, seaside. Just a couple of wee splodges on that side, and I'll do one over here. And I'm going to add a couple of orange dots in, and that's going to be for the fish. Okay, and there's one done, so just carefully set it back over, make sure it's nice and round, and I can give it a little clean and add the black, and it'll really look much better once the black's on it. I'm going to grab this guy and my seaside pattern. All of these wee orange spots are going to be fish, so that's what I'm going to do first. Just make like a kid sort of illustration of fish, a really simple one, just a little swirl. I just want to make sure all of their tails are pointing in different ways, so it kind of looks like they're having lots of fun, they're all together, they're swimming around in different directions. Planning roughly where I'm going to go from here to here, and fingers crossed. Swish. Okay, and off to the other side. It takes quite a while to get all of the wee fish and everything done, but it's worth taking your time so that they don't look really messy. and still just trying to be really careful not to touch too much on the bottom or put my fingers anywhere that might wreck it. Once you get to this stage, you're like, please make it the whole way. Okay, the last little guy, swimming away. And this has got 2 stripes. This is the bigger sort of side, so we'll do a slightly bigger special on this one. I'll maybe do it coming around the spout at this side. And I'll add a little bit over here too. Okay, so that is my super cute seaside mug jug complete, and I'll leave this aside just to firm up a little bit more, and once it's completely dry I'm going to go over it with a sponge around the edge and tidy up all of those wee join lines. And it's the best time to do it when it's really dry because it just quickly takes all the excess that we don't want off. So there we go. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and again, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm going to fire through and decorate the rest of these, and make sure to check out my online shop in any stage, because hey, they might be on there for you to get, or you can get a mug or whatever to match. So thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next week with something else really fun to make, and I'll maybe scale up and make a bigger sort of bowl. So thanks so much. See you then. Bye.